Hi there, I'm Cullen, and my wife Cheryl and I are the founders of Flashpoint STEM. We believe learning is easier when you're having fun. We use radio-controlled aircraft to give students hands-on experiences. Your students will build, program, fly, crash, and rebuild their aircraft again. With us, students will apply STEM subjects they are learning in school. We give them Flashpoint experiences, moments of insight only gained by working through complex challenges. These moments produce memories, which evolve into wisdom, which will last a lifetime. Employers want team members who can problem solve and have the initiative and determination to get things done. It's our passion to work with your teens on projects that show them learning can be exciting, which in turn leads to exciting careers and exciting lives. We hold our classes right here in your community. We're not a big company, but we have big ideas and we love pursuing them. We'd love for you to join us. 2 years ago, I started to think about a new project, one that would represent this place where I live, Waimanalo, Hawaii. I love flying radio-controlled gliders off the cliffs at Makapu'u Beach. It's one of the most famous scenic lookouts in Hawaii. I started to think about the old Bellows Airfield, located just down the road. What happened here on the morning of December 7th, 1941? We all know the story of Pearl Harbor, but what happened here at this airfield? Bellows was mainly a training ground. It had a single landing strip and a 2-story barrack, a bombing range, and as you can see from these photos, they had some pretty basic wooden structures. It was home to the 86th Observation Squadron that flew 6 O-47 observation monoplanes and 2 O-49 Vigilant light aircraft. The 44th Pursuit Squadron also housed the 12 Curtiss P-40 Warhawks at Bellows. On Saturday, December 6th, the day before the attack, the P-40s had been used for training and left lined up on the field. The fuel tanks were empty and the guns had been removed for cleaning. On Sunday morning, December 7th, 1941, Bellows received a call from Hickam Airfield with an urgent request for a fire truck and confirmed that Pearl Harbor and other stations around the island were under attack. The soldiers at Bellows did their best to fuel and rearm the planes, but by 9:10 a.m., a strafing attack from Japanese fighters tore Bellows Field to shreds. 2 of the 3 pilots that attempted to take off made it into the air but were immediately gunned down. There was also a B-17C Flying Fortress inbound from California that was forced to make an emergency landing at Bellows after numerous attempts to land at Wheeler Airfield but couldn't due to the attack. Well, that did it. I was going to build a P-40 as a dedication to the soldiers who fought here in Waimanalo. What was it like flying over Waimanalo during their training runs the day before? I thought I might be able to experience some of that by installing an FPV system in my plane to view the flight from within the cockpit. The plane I built was a Curtiss P-40 Warhawk Slope Glider from Leading Edge Gliders. It has a 60-inch wingspan and weighs 4 pounds. It has ailerons and an elevator, but no motor, so strictly a glider. It flies really well in about 25-mile-an-hour winds and is super stable and responsive. I added a camera that allows me to fly the plane as if I'm sitting in the cockpit. The video from the camera is transmitted in real time to goggles that I wear on my head. I also have a head tracking device that moves the camera wherever my head moves. So if I want to look out over the wing to see how close I'm getting to the mountain, I can just turn my head and look. Flight day finally arrived. We had strong winds from the northeast at 25 miles an hour. The slope we fly is shaped like a bowl, and the wind comes off the ocean and starts to pile up at the base of the mountain. It has nowhere else to go but up, and that is what lifts our planes. The plan was to launch the plane first and fly it line of sight, and then put on the goggles and fly it first-person view. All systems checked, and it's time to launch. I chucked the plane off the cliff and straight into the wind. It rolled slightly to the right, but I recovered quickly. The lift was incredible. It was like the plane was riding an escalator in the sky. After about 10 minutes of flying, I pointed the plane into the wind at about 300 feet above me and put on my FPV goggles. This was the moment I had been waiting for. This is what those P-40 pilots saw when they made their training flights. That green wall of the Ko'olau Mountains and the turquoise blue ocean separated by a long stretch of white sandy beach. Incredible! I started to fly back and forth across the slope, getting used to my new flying perspective. I had to make sure that I kept close to the mountain, but not too close. I noticed that when I fly with the goggles, it's really easy to fly further than you were planning on going. Luckily, all of the air on this side of the mountain is rising, so I had no trouble staying up. It was a flight of exploration, because now I could go further than before, but I needed to pay attention to the contours of the mountains and see how the lift was being affected. I would climb high and then make gradual dives across the beach and then back up again. So this is kind of that shot that I was thinking of when, the trainers back in 1940 were trained out here in Waimanalo. I'm sure they just flew right down this pass and along this mountain back to the base or back to the airfield, just straight ahead. So this view was probably one that they saw a lot of. you enjoyed my journey through time and got a glimpse of what it was like for pilots training here in Waimanalo back in 1941. Thank you to all the men and women who have served and are currently serving our country. We would not be able to live in such a beautiful place with such freedoms if it weren't for your sacrifice. We are truly grateful. May God bless you. If you'd like to find out more about our classes, please visit us at flashpointstem.com. See you next time. Aloha.